back for another Super Sunday with the Undefeated Goats. Hey, take all that sleepy out of your eyes. That's him. That's the Hall of Famer coach, Andy Talley. Put your hands together. That's right. We got Coach in the building. Big shout out to all the Villanova alumni. So make sure you put your V's up. The whole show, man. We are honored to have Coach Talley. Coach Talley, welcome to the Undefeated Goats, man. We had to go through all your security and get all the background checks and stuff like that, but we were able to afford you to come here, man. So we greatly appreciate you. Also, Coach Talley is a Monte Cristo smoker. So big shout out to Monte Cristo, all the different cigars. We got the Hall of Famer, the Coach Hall of Famer in the building today. Coach, how have you been? What's been going on with you?
Well, everything's been great. And first of all, thank you all for having me here today. Enjoy being here early. I was able to get a nice cigar and mess around and chat with everybody. Been pleasure. Been doing a lot of work with my Andy Talley bone marrow program. We're saving lives. We just did 180 marrow drives around the country, and we put 50,000 young people on the donor list this past spring.
Wow. That's big.
So we're excited to do that. It's something I've been doing since, 1992. But we put our foundation together 12 years ago and really got after it. So it's been great. And of course, getting into the Hall of Fame in 2020 continues to keep my name out there, which is important because, the longer you're out of coaching football, people forget, which is fine because there's new guys coming up and so on. But I've been able to attach the Hall of Fame to the fact that when I call a college coach and go, hey, my name's Andy Talley. I used to coach at Villanova. Guys go, oh, Coach, I know who you are.
Right.
That type of thing. Okay, now I got them. They know me. And I'm like, okay, I need help. Okay, this is what I'm doing. I'm saving lives right now. Will you step up and have your college football program ride with me? We're going to save lives together. Truthfully, never had a coach say no to me.
Wow. That's
Ever.
great. That's great.
Ever.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
That's great. Yeah, Gooses is proud to be a part of the outing. Thanks to Fred. Fred here, he contacted me, and we had a nice tent there, and we everybody enjoyed a cigar. We had the bearded wonder there, Brian Bruno. The guy with the big beard.
Yes.
He's a great guy, and every year we do a lot of golf outings, and he enjoys yours. He enjoys yours a lot. So I'm sorry, Flo. Go ahead.
No. Coach, can you shout out like family members or and let's talk a little bit more about your event that you do all year round with the bone marrow. But do you have any family members or grandkids or children or anything like that you want to shout out and say hello to?
Well, I do have a grandson, Nolan. He's 12 years old, just made the All-Star baseball team, and a good young kid.
Nice.
Love him to death. So thanks for mentioning that.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about this program that you have going on. How long have you been doing it, Coach? And you said that you saved over, thousands and thousands of people. That's a great. How can we get that out there for the rest of the world that's watching the podcast to invest in that and to stay tuned to everything that you're doing as far as, bone marrow situation is concerned?
Well, as far as the bone marrow is concerned, I have a website and it's Andy .Talley. Well, that's my email.
Okay. That's all right. They can hit that too.
Yeah, we can't put that out there.
We're gonna put it up on the screen. You ready, Jess?
Okay. But talleybonemarrow.org.
Okay.
Talleybonemarrow.org is my foundation website.
Okay.
And on that website, we list everything that we do, why we do it, and how we do it with some historical perspective as well. But more importantly, it's an opportunity for anybody who is interested in doing a bone marrow drive to contact me, and then I put my cell number right up there, 610-547-8136. There it is here, 610-547-8136. Call me directly. I pick up. It's on 20 hours a day. I'm there. Call me in the middle of the night. We are saving lives. Right now, we have, if you'll look at the website, it says 119,000 donors. We actually are up to about 150,000 people that we've put on the donor list. So there's a great need for bone marrow transplantation, especially in the African American community.
Nice.
Right now, the statistics work this way. For a white person, the chances of finding a bone marrow match is almost 80% because there's a lot of white people on the donor list. For an African American, Asian, or Hispanic, it's 25%. Why is that? There's no donors. We need more African American donors. So when an African American has sickle cell anemia or one of the blood diseases where they need a transplant, it's very, very difficult to find someone that can donate because there just aren't any donors. So we need to spread the word, continue to work it. And of course, many of the football teams that I work with have 80%, 70% African American kids on their team. So we've been able to get more of those kids at a young age to step up and get on the donor list. Here's one of the bad stats with all of this. Across the board, when people are called who are on the donor list, when someone is called and say, hey, you have a chance to donate and save a life, 50% say no. That's a terrible, terrible stat. And I can't figure that out, but that probably happened because somewhere along the line when someone was asked to get on the donor list, they went, yeah, okay, sure. It's a simple cheek swab. Put my name on. That's great. 10 years later, they get called and they're like, they got kids, they're traveling, they're doing this, they're doing that. And it doesn't resonate with them the way it did when they were asked to get on the donor list when they were in college.
Right.
And to be very candid, I've talked to the people at Be the Match Foundation that handles all of this. When they interview someone who's a potential donor, they don't come after them the way they should. They need to come after hard. Let me step in there. Let me call that person and get to them and say, this is why you need to donate. You can save a life. Please do this. It's easy. It's a simple blood donation. It takes 4 hours. They put a needle in your arm, draw blood out of your arm, run it through a pheresis machine, take the marrow out of your blood, put it back into your arm, in 4 hours you go home. It's easy. That's all you have to do. But the people that work this thing from Be the Match are a little easy on people because I've listened to some of them when they've spoken. And it's not like the folks here. We'd get hard. We'd get after them. You can say, you're going to say no? Are you kidding me?
Right.
You have a daughter? You have a son? Sickle cell anemia, 15, 18, 12 years old, a baby who's going to die because you're not going to donate for 4 hours? Come on. You got to step up. They don't approach it that way. I've listened to them. They're smooth. They're easy. They're nice. No. We need help. Okay, this child is going to die in 3 months if you don't step up and donate. Please go home and think about it. I'll call you tomorrow. Okay, give me a couple more days. I'll call you 2 weeks from now. But we need you. You need to step up. So I think we need to be more aggressive that way.
Absolutely. Fred, can you at least touch with everybody about some of the experiences that you had at some of these big like conventions and stuff like that?
I'm not a crier. I don't cry very often. My wife says, you never cry. I don't have a dry eye at these galas because the galas, they match the donor with the donee. So you see a little 2, 3, 4-year-old girl who literally would not be alive if it wasn't for the match. And then the grown person, the gentleman usually that was the match, and everyone's crying. Like, and you know what's coming. Like the first time, like, oh, that's really nice. The third and fourth time, I still cry. Like it's like and it's so the energy in the air is different because you're seeing someone who now has a future in front of her, and she wouldn't be here. And that is, you can't put money on it. You can't. I mean, people get their wallets out. Like, Andy's like, all right, let's do it again. Like, we can do this every year. Those are phenomenal. And this I'm on a bunch of different boards. I think this board makes the most individual difference that I've ever been a part of. It's different than giving money to your church or wherever else you're going to give money to. This is matched down to literally 2 people in the world that were a match. And the foundation does an excellent job of telling that story. And it's, even though the subsequent event is a different match, and it's a different story. Like these people's backgrounds and their future, and it's going to be awesome to see the future that wouldn't have been here. What these young kids can do now that they're alive. I mean, it's awesome. Right. And there were some people that just get extended, like 10 or 12. You're going to die tomorrow. Well, now you have 10 or 12, 14 more years. You can walk your daughter down. I mean, some of the matches are not young kids. Sometimes they're our age. Mm-hmm. Imagine being alive to walk your daughter down the aisle, and you wouldn't be there. I mean, you can't put money on that.
Right.
So I tear up. I still don't cry, but I tear up a little
bit. That's awesome, man. Well, everybody, if you check it out, it's right there at the bottom of the your screen. Please go and donate. I know everyone has family members, even individuals, should really go out and get a chance and opportunity to save a life, man. Big shout out to Coach Talley right here. This is what he does 24/7. You could email him or you could call him at any time, and that saves some lives. All right. Andy, if you don't mind, man, we got another goat. Is it all right if he takes your chair?
Absolutely.
All right, okay. Nard, well, everybody put your hands together for Nard. This is the, we make sure. Nard, this is Coach Talley. Coach Talley, he still has some eligibility in that building. So if you need a linebacker or...
God carry the clipboard. I'm making big plays with you up in the booth. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks.
All right, guys. Well, we might go back to that, but let's talk football a little bit. Let's start with you, Gary. We call him G Money, but he's Gary. He's a football expert. Now, Coach, just to let you know, everybody except for him, which is a Giants fan, they're all Steelers fans. So just be careful with the offense and the defense they talk about, because they do try to mirror a lot of stuff what Tomlinson's doing. So
that's not true.
That's not true?
No.
All right, well, we'll see. Okay,
Steeler fan?
Yes, all three of them.
Die hard. One of my former players, Andy Weidel, just left the Eagles to go back to his hometown, Pittsburgh Steelers. Mm-hmm. He played out there. I recruited him out of high school, and he was a great player for me. And then got involved in pro football, and bounced around and ended up with the Eagles, doing a terrific job with them. Okay. But the hometown Steelers called him, and there he is. He just went back.
That's a shame, because you just said, I recruited him from out of Pittsburgh. I never got a letter or call. And I see you became a coach in '84. That's when I graduated, so I know you needed a backup.
Coach, don't worry, you didn't miss nothing, Coach.
No. How would you pass on a 4-4?
4-4 is good.
4-4, right?
You ran a 4-4 G?
I was also a state high hurdle.
You were the all-around package. You was like,
I was a nice little athlete.
I take back everything Nard said bad about you, brother.
I didn't know. So you take back
everything Nard said about you.
So let me ask you a question, Coach, if I can. You ran more of a pro set when you coached?
Yeah, we did. We were drop back, throw the football down the field.
Mm-hmm. No risk it, no biscuit.
Yeah, and then Dave Clausen, who is the head football coach at Wake Forest, was the offensive coordinator at Lehigh. And what had happened is we had gotten stale a little bit offensively, and we needed to change things. So I wanted to open it up a little bit because Dave threw the football and ran a lot of one back. So I didn't know a lot about it. So I called him up and I said, look, I'd like to bring you to Villanova. I don't know if you would want to make the change from the Patriot League to come up to probably a little better league and install your offense. He said, well, I'm interested. He said, but I'm very happy here, and I don't know if I would come with you. I said, well, let's spend a week together. So I took a hotel up in the Lehigh Valley, and we went on the blackboard every day, and he ran his offense through me and showed me what he was doing. And I had to have this guy. I had to have this guy because I didn't have the skill set to put it in, and he did. So we made an attractive offer to him.
How much was that, Coach, if you don't mind me asking? Because Gary's going to ask you anyway, but I thought I would jump in before you answer.
Back in the day, he was probably it was probably 10 or 15,000 more than what he was making.
Right.
The salaries at the 1AA level at the time weren't that high, so I think he was making. I think it was like 80,000 to come in. And the important thing is, I gave him a 3-year contract.
Right.
And so I said, your contract's now tied in with mine because I had a 3-year contract.
Right.
And so if they fired me, you're still here for
still
2
good.
more years.
Right.
So after we spent a week together, of course, we got to know each other because I didn't really know Dave. And he took the job. When he came in, he was a bad dude.
Right.
I mean, he scared everybody.
Not you.
He got all their attention. He got all the players' attention and the coach's attention. And Mark Ferrani, who's the present head coach at Villanova now, was the offensive line coach. And Ferrani came to me and went, this dude is off the charts now. He's something else. He really liked him, and they got going. And 2 years, the second year, we went undefeated.
Yeah.
And then he left and got the head job. I forget where he went. Oh, you know where he went to? He went to Richmond.
Okay.
So he got the head job down at Richmond. And then he moved along, and he was head coach at one of the MAC schools, Bowling Green. Had a great run at Bowling Green. And then he got the Wake Forest job.
Okay. Yeah.
And they've been great.
Yeah,
Wake's been great.
Mm-hmm.
Coach, before we talking about offense, like how do you your first day in, you walk in Villanova, it's a great campus, it's a smaller campus, but very powerful. How do you go and recruit a guy like Gary or a guy like Nard? Like how do you start your offense off? Do you start with the quarterback? Or do you just go with the kids that are already there and go through tape and film and evaluations, or how do you?
My situation was completely different because Villanova dropped football in 1980. Okay, that was Howie Long's last year.
Mm-hmm.
So they were out of football for 4 years.
Right.
So when I got the job at Villanova, there was nothing. There were no players. There was no equipment. There was no schedule. They really didn't know what they wanted to do. All they knew is they wanted to come back and play, and the level that they wanted to play was 1AA at the time, which is now FCS football. 63 scholarships. They knew they were going to have 63 scholarships, but it was going to have to be built slowly. So I came in there, and the salaries were low because they really hadn't put it together the way they should have. So I had to, bring a lot of guys with me that didn't have a lot of experience.
Right.
So I took a lot of young guys that were 2 and 3 year and 4 year coaches with me. So I ended up coaching the coaches and the players. But we were fortunate because out of the box, we went 19-1 in the first 2 years. But we were playing Division III teams. So the third year I was there, we started to play some 1AA teams. And the first 1AA team that we played was Columbia. Now, Columbia had lost 20 games in a row. They were the worst team in 1AA. The game was on national television.
Oh my goodness.
All right. So what they did is we were down by 3 touchdowns at halftime. And we had just had a great, run. And I had never been down like that with this team. So I went in the locker room at halftime, and you would have to bleep out everything that I said.
Really? You went in like that?
I went in like that.
That's how Nord talks to us sometimes. Like,
I hear you.
We have to bleep out everything he
I
says.
had to bleep out everything. And I just went after our team. I said, are you kidding me? This team hasn't won a game. You guys won 19 games, and here we are, in a big stadium with a packed crowd, and it's on TV, and you guys are running scared. And anyway, long story short, we came back. We beat them, I think, 45-21.
They didn't score another touchdown.
They didn't score another touchdown. And that's when I knew that I had the right kind of kids, because that was the really first challenge that they had. And so then, as we got into the 1AA schedule in our 4th year, Westchester came to me, and Villanova used to play Westchester.
Well, they were some bad dudes.
And I said, you know what? I'm not going to play a Division II team and get upset. I can't afford to do that right now. We're bringing our program back. So I contacted Wake Forest, and I said, would you come up and play us at Villanova? We'll give you a guarantee. Because they were looking for a win, and they figured, well, we got a 1AA team, we can beat them. So we opened up with Wake Forest in our 4th year back playing a D1 team, and they were good that year. They actually went to a bowl of all things. They ended up 8-3, and they beat us. I think it was 34-20, but it was a competitive game, and everyone around the country started to realize, well, Villanova's back in football, and okay, they're in this 1AA league, and okay, I think we're going to be okay. And so that helped us again build it. The following year, our 5th year, we won our first championship. So 5 years back, we won the conference championship, went to the playoffs, and who do we get in the first round? Because we were the last team to get in. At that time, they only took 16 teams. We had to play Georgia Southern at Georgia Southern. Wow. You don't know if you've ever been to Georgia Southern, but let me tell you what, they got some fans that are like unbelievable.
Yeah. The band and everything else.
Everything. And the coach at the time was Erky Russell. I don't know if you remember Erky Russell, but he was an old-time coach, man, and he had them going. And they ran a wishbone of all things. Well, the last thing you want to do is play a wishbone team. You don't want to play a wishbone team because, first of all, you cannot prepare your team for a wishbone team.
You have no idea
because you
where
never
it's
see
coming
it.
from.
You never see it.
You don't know where it's coming from.
And because now teams that play a wishbone team, they have a scout team that they practice with from preseason right on every day. They'll do 20 minutes of wishbone work so the kids see it. So we get into the game with them. We're playing great, and we're winning at halftime. And they're shocked because where this team come from, Villanova, playing in the South, they had no clue who we were, and we were ahead of them at halftime. Anyway, they beat us 48-32. But we established ourselves on the national scene that we could play with a team like that. But here's the most important thing that I got from that game. When I got back on the airplane and I flew home, and I go, okay, I know what we need. What do you think it was that we needed?
Gary.
Clearly, you needed me. You needed speed.
We needed speed.
You didn't have those athletes.
We didn't have speed.
I already know.
We didn't have that kind of speed.
Right.
And that's when I said to our coaches, we're going to California. Okay, because we were recruiting the East at that time. I said, we're going to California and we're going to recruit. See, what they do in Cali is the Pac-12 they don't take those kids out of high school. They send them all to JC. They go to junior college. They play for 2 years. They get bigger, faster, stronger, and then they pull them out, and they got them for 3 years.
Yep.
They redshirted them the first year, and then bang, they got them for 3. So at that time, there weren't a lot of 1AA teams in California playing football, all Pac-12 schools. So we would say to a kid, why do you want to go to junior college? They may not even give you a scholarship when you get out. You got a full ride to Villanova come now.
Right.
You know, and Brian Finneran, who played with the Falcons for years as a wideout, is one of the California kids that we did recruit that came, you know, to Villanova. He won the Walter Payton Award and so on. And so we started to get fringe 1A players
That's right.
in 1AA football. And that helped me, you know, get our program up into the upper level a little bit of 1AA.
So Nard, he said he went to California. Did you get a call?
I didn't talk to him. I must have.
That's two.
I mean, all Americans started as a freshman. I mean, I didn't. I must have missed that. We had cell phones back then. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I didn't have my cell phone.
You have your cell phone.
Right.
I would have came over early.
The line was busy.
Honor roll
The line was busy.
student.
The line was busy.
They didn't have
Honor
call
roll.
waiting. There was no
Dance
call waiting.
classes.
Yeah, man.
Coach, did you call
Coach's
him?
kid.
Did you?
What school did you go to?
Berkeley High School.
Where?
Berkeley High School. Then I came over to the East and went to New Run High School.
Wow.
Yeah, I was right there.
He was looking for you though.
We missed you.
Probably doing the move.
Yeah, that's It got lost in the mail.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Because see, when I came, I didn't understand the whole red shirt thing.
Right.
And having, you know, these guys that talked to me. So when Mac Brown was like, "We're gonna red shirt," I'm like, "Did you not see my last season?" As he went on to go win the national championship with the Texans. I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" I didn't realize that he recruited someone that was 2 feet taller, 50 pounds heavier, and 2 seconds faster. We're gonna redshirt you and build you up.
Right.
You know, I was
Sure.
playing right now. I did not understand that.
Yeah, I
So, Coach, I know you would have stabbed me down. I'm like, listen, just be quiet.
right.
Sit here. You sit here.
Sign here. Be quiet. Go to class.
Go to class, lift, run. I got you.
Coach, how was it dealing with a school that was really concentrated on basketball? So basketball was the number one sport at Villanova. So how did you come in and kind of adapt with the money and the fans and build up everything, boosters, everything within that tenure that you were there? How
That's
was that?
a great
Because
question.
Riley Massimino was there at that time.
Great,
right?
great.
Did he help at all?
Great question.
Did he support?
Here's what I did. Okay. Rolly,
He said,
he went out and won a national championship in 1985.
Right.
All right. So I went into his office the day he came back from the national championship. And I said, Coach, I know you're going to get a ring on your finger, and all your players are going to get one. I want a national championship ring. He goes, what? Why would you want a basketball ring? I said, because I'm going to put that ring on my finger. Okay, I should have brought it with me. I have it. And he goes, all right. My name on it, Talley, the whole thing, national championship. So now when I go in to recruit
Both hands.
with the kids, I walk in and I'm flashing. How you doing, son? Oh, you see that ring there?
you all like
Yeah.
this and that.
So those guys, let's get going. I take it off. I give it to the kid, you know, and I go, we're going to win one of those at Villanova if you come to Villanova. So that actually helped me recruit the first couple years out because they equated national championship in basketball. Hey, this guy's serious about it in football. Now, it took me 25 years to win a national championship, but that's how we got started in some really good recruiting. And I'd flash that ring around. I did it for a couple years, and then after that, you know, it got old. But that was actually very helpful when Rolly won that thing. And then, of course, when I get a recruit on campus,
Little game.
pick up the phone, Coach Mass, hey, can I bring a kid and his parents over to say hello to you? Because they all wanted to meet Rolly Massimino, you know, and he'd do a nice job, you know, give him 15 minutes. Hey, nice to see you, that type of thing. And so rather than try to challenge Villanova basketball, I incorporated the football program
That's smart.
with
Right.
them. And then Stevie Lapis was good to me,
Mhm.
and Jay Wright was the best.
Yeah.
Jay was my main man. Because he was an assistant with Rowley
Right.
when I got there, so I had developed a relationship
Relationship.
with him. So when he became the head coach, he respected what I had done. He'd watched it build and everything, and allowed me to participate with the basketball program. And so rather than fight that and go, well, basketball, but football is going to be no, we want to partner with basketball.
Right.
We want to be friends with basketball. We bring recruits in, we take them to the basketball game,
Mhm.
and then maybe after the game they could say hi to Jay Wright, that type of thing, and it really helped our recruiting.
That's great.
That really works because at the end of the day, they're all student athletes, whether you're on a
Exactly.
football team, basketball team, or whatever. So,
One big family.
yeah, you got to incorporate everybody together because they're going
Exactly.
to see each other on campus, they're going to see each other in classes, or
Yep.
see each other at parties or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Now, Solo, you're a football guru. Can you talk to Coach about defense? Like what was his scheme, and what type of defense and stuff did he run, and what type of
Yeah, of
defense you
course.
like? And
Well, you
Yeah.
just asked him.
Just-
Yeah, I mean, basically, right?
Basically,
Justin, can you shut up there, Mike, please?
test. Coach, I got a quick question for you before you get to that. Can you talk to me your feelings about recruiting process today, which I feel is like really digital. They just kind of talk to your kid through social media compared to when you guys came out. You sit in the living room, you're able to give them the ring face and able to talk to them. Whereas now, like with my son, I found out it's just like they kind of just watch the huddle and they make contact through there, and the parents kind of the last ones to know that the kid's going, unless you're 5-star and that type of thing's in there. You go out, but I like that overall. I think the process is. I like it today. I just want to see what you think about it.
No, you're actually right on. The process today is very convoluted, and I think they end up missing a lot of good kids because of the way they do recruit. And now, they talk to a lot of the kids, via TV or whatever. We were always in the home. I wanted to press the flesh. I wanted to meet the mom and dad. For me, the critical aspect of recruiting was you got to have mom on your side. Okay, mama runs the show in most homes, and so I wanted to develop a relationship with the mom and dad so that when the final decision came down, the mom and dad were comfortable with me. I wanted a relationship with them. The assistant coach for me was the guy who made the contact with the player.
Right.
That's where that brotherhood developed because they were going to play for that guy, and that was very important. So we would get the head coach, me, the recruiting coach, and then the positional coach. So if the guy's a running back, I made sure the running back coach was involved and in the home. Receiver coach involved and in the home,
Right.
because that's who they're going to work with 90% of the time. So that was very, very important. What's going on now today in the college arena scares me. With the money. Some of these kids are getting $250,000 to go to a university on top of their scholarship.
You know about the NIL deals.
Yeah, the NIL deals, and I just think it's probably going to turn college football into almost professional football.
Well, Coach, they were always getting that money. It wasn't an NIL at that time. It
Mhm.
came in likeness of a car, apartment, a suitcase with money in it that fell out of the back trunk of a car too. And we're talking about the Power Five schools,
Yeah.
big schools.
Yeah.
So money has never been a thing that did not flow to the particular athlete that they know that they wanted. The one that was definitely going to probably make it to the NFL.
Right.
So that it's kind of not a new concept.
Mhm.
It just goes under a different name. So being an ex-player, I kind of enjoy the fact that kids are getting some monies. And the reason being is that, when you're on scholarship at a lot of these universities, you don't have any money. You come from less than great situations a lot of times when you're at a lot of these schools.
Right.
And you can't, God forbid something happened to somebody at home and you're from the West Coast and you're playing out in the East Coast, you need to get home. And you can't even get money from people to get home. You have to go to a funeral. You can't get money for a suit to go to this. So I've always felt that universities and NCAA, the one thing that they did wrong was not really protect the player, but then also not providing for the player outside of the education, because the millions that they make playing and the bowls and the different things, the concession stands and stadium fees, they make millions and billions, $1 billion industry. So why would you not help a kid be able to maneuver himself back and forth? And I think these things kind of create a level playing field where you kind of don't have, and excuse the way I said, that plantation mentality, that these kids come, they play, we give them a scholarship, and that's enough. And BS, it's not enough. They need more. They need support outside of just the program and what the program does for them, but they need other support. Sometimes it's financial support.
I think a lot of people don't understand what athletes put in.
Right.
When you go to college, oh, you got a scholarship, you should be happy. No, I have to work my butt off for that. Like, you don't get to just sit around and lay around and watch TV.
And to keep it.
I think, like, with the NIL deals, I look at a person like Maurice Claret. How would his life have been different had he been able to say, you take my likeness and I can make some money. I don't have to leave early for the NFL. He came from dirt poor situation, and then we know how it turned out for him. I'm thinking, like, if this had been around when he was in, maybe his life would be different. He wouldn't have gotten all these different things. With the kids, the money's, I'm thinking, like, if you just put it in the account, because everybody can't make the NFL.
Exactly.
So listen, you got to graduate to get this. But in the meantime, here's your stipend each month. If you're a starter, it's $2,500 across the board. If you're on the bench, you get $1,500. If you want $2,500, beat him out. And that's what you have to do. So I think you make practice about it because I want to get started. But in the meantime, I have some money in case I have a child, in case I have a mom who needs some help. And now the coaches or administrators shouldn't make millions of dollars off these players, and then you penalize them for signing a jersey. I think it was that kid Taylor out of Ohio State.
Yeah.
He signed a jersey and he got in all that trouble. But why he wears a jersey? I wouldn't have bought the jersey if he wasn't wearing it.
Right.
So I think it's up and down, but I do agree with some aspects. I think they can look at it different because Dion had a great point about it. You're gonna need more resources for the kids who pushing the fandom to practice.
Right. Hire more better coaches in order to manage this whole thing.
Well,
yeah, we went down to Mississippi State a couple years ago. Joe Moorhead was the coach at the time, and I was amazed at 3/4 of their team had children. They had children.
18, 19, 20 years old.
Yeah, I was like floored at that because we had a little get together with the team, and the kids brought their girlfriends or their wives and their kids there, and that's a big deal.
it is.
And so these guys need the support that you're talking about, and I think the NCAA has to figure out how they're going to get it right because they got it wrong for a long time, for sure.
A stipend across the board, I think, would help. If the bigger schools,
I agree.
they can afford it's $2,500. The other schools $1,500, but it would help because I have that little person, and you're asking me not to work for 3-4 years and not be able to contribute to my son or daughter, upbringing, and just leaving it on the mom or leaving it on the family that may or may not be able to do so. So the kid didn't ask for it, but I'm saying there's a way, like you said, there's a way that you have to look at it, and we have to let go. The old way is gone. Now what we're going to do today, like what we're going to do today.
And you're right. You're very right about what they ask, and even at Villanova, what we asked of our kids in the summer. In the summertime, are you kidding me? I mean, we had our strength coach had those kids 6 o'clock in the morning. They were down on the field. They were running. They got all the running in, and later on in the afternoon, done classes. You're in the weight room. I mean, your whole day is covered in the summer. So when do you really get away from it all? and get some rest and time with your family and so on. It's a business.
It is. And
I mean, it's-
I would have loved to have played at Villanova and went through that, but I didn't get the call. I didn't get the letter.
I'm thinking from '89 to '93, you could have got that at least two of them, two championships, 2 more rings in that time. Great guy to just throw me the ball.
No, look, he got the job in '84.
Oh,
I came out of high school in '84.
Right.
He could have redshirted me by '86, '87. We playing for a game. We're playing for a ball. Yeah. Look, Westbrook before Westbrook was there. I'm just saying. Just saying.
In '84, when we first came back, the recruiting budget was minuscule. We didn't get to Pittsburgh. So I knew that I had to recruit locally.
Coach, you had carrier pigeons.
And that's what we did. We recruited.
There's something wrong with it.
Pretty much
Seriously.
locally for about 3 years, and then we took off.
No, I understand. It is, but no, when I moved up here, I followed your program because I like small school sports programs because kids they're athletes. They're not top tier, but they can be developed into top tier.
Exactly.
And that's what a lot of people don't understand.
Sure.
It's kind of, I don't want to call you a JUCO, but it's almost that JUCO-ish mentality. You're playing a good level, solid level of football. And once you get that kid in that second or third year, he starts to take off because his body's mature, his mind is mature, he understands the system. Yeah. But I watched your program, and I always thought you had a very class program. You didn't have trouble. You graduated kids. You got some kids in the NFL. You got some kids free agent signings. You gave them opportunities. So, and like I said, I thought your program was always a class program.
Well, I appreciate that, and we had our problems now. I won't kid you. We had guys that went the wrong way on me a few times, and I gave them all 3 strikes and you're out. And that was sort of the way I handled it. You come in first time, you're in trouble. Okay, here's what we're going to learn from this. This is how we're going to improve. Second time comes in, now look, this is it. If I got to see you in the office a third time, we got issues. You could potentially lose the scholarship. I'm going to send you home. And that was sort of the way I did it. And to be candid, at times, your heart goes out a little bit sometimes because you've taken a kid from an area and now he's in over his head academically, and he's at an elite school where he's around a lot of rich kids, and all of a sudden
The whole area.
he's still trying to socialize, especially if you get a kid from inner city, and so sometimes I would go to a 4th strike to try it, because my idea was, we're going to groom them and save them and get them to where they have to be. I'm not going to fire kids out of here because they're going to make mistakes along the way. And so, I had a saying with the guys, which I subscribe to when it comes to a woman. And a lot of these problems were when they would be involved with young women. And it was very simple. No means no. Maybe
Means no.
means no.
Exactly.
Yes means no. Okay. And here's my cell phone, or here's my phone when we didn't have cells. I said, you get in a situation like that, you're downtown, you're in Philly, you got a bunch of girls around, you don't have a ride home, you call me. Okay, you call, we'll come get you. And girl problems were the biggest problems that I had with athletes, because you walk around the campus of Villanova, there's a lot of beautiful looking women,
Summertime.
and you're a football player and they like you.
That's right.
They like you.
That's right.
And that's, I get it, but that was really an issue, a big issue for me. I never had problems with kids, in fights or stuff like that. It was mostly with women. it's hard. That was hard.
If I can throw one thing in. So I know you played 4 years of football. You were a D-back, correct?
Mhm.
So I know, so you had the same issues, girls throwing themselves at you. So you understood
Mhm.
kind of what the young men were dealing with.
Mhm.
Because I know you were getting a couple up there now. I know they were coming after you.
Well, I'll tell
They
you.
probably still are.
Well, I'll tell you.
He was a good looking guy. You see the Cartiers. Don't act like you didn't see the Cartiers.
No disrespect to his wife, a lovely lady that she is, but I know you probably, you know what I mean?
Well, I'll tell you a quick story. I'll tell you a quick story about
Coach,
her.
don't pay them no mind, man.
No,
They're
I
just-
get-
These
no,
answers
they're-
better
He's
be,
retired now.
these answers better come correct.
He's retired now.
No,
He's
no.
good. NCAA can't mess with him.
They're hitting on some important stuff.
Yeah, but the
because-
last time they had a situation, we were talking about somebody's wife. We didn't see him for 3 weeks.
Oh,
here because he
geez.
was in trouble. So just watch what you say.
It wasn't
I'm
me.
not talking about you, Nora. Don't worry about it. I'm not talking about you.
I don't,
Yeah,
play, I
Coach.
don't play with my wife
My
at all.
wife- I
At all.
saw my wife in the hallway, and I went up to her, and I didn't know her, and I said, "Hey, I'd like to go out with you." She goes, "No way." I said, "What do you mean?" She goes, "I heard about you." I said, "What'd you hear?" She goes, "No, I'm just telling you right now, I'm not going out with you." So then I saw her in the hallway a week later, and again, we're going to classes. I asked her out again. She goes, "Oh, don't bother me. I'm not going out with you." So, now I'm like, come on now. I mean, this, I really like this girl. And, she was a phys ed major. I was a phys ed major. And so the third time I went up to her, I said, "Look, I don't know what you heard about me, but how about giving me a third chance here? Let's go out." So we went out, and eventually, we got married, obviously, right out of college, which is stupid. Why I would do that, I have no idea. Because she was still a junior. I had just graduated. So I had to put her through school. Her old man goes, "Hey, now you take care of it."
Really on you, huh?
He's like this at the wedding. Thanks, I appreciate you, my man.
That's great.
That's how
That's
it went.
great. Guys, if it's all right with you guys, I mean, let's talk a little bit cigars. I'm going to do a little break as far as 28 Black is concerned, but let's talk about cigars. I know Coach has been, how long have you been smoking cigars, Coach?
Oh, gosh, since college.
Really, since
Yeah,
college?
yeah.
Wow,
Oh,
okay. And you've always been a Monte Cristo,
I would just about smoke anything, but a Monte Cristo was a little high level for me when I was younger.
Got you.
Now I can afford to buy one. So it's good.
Can I get a close up, Justin? Watch this, Coach. I'm gonna ask you. Hey, there we are, right here. 28 Black, baby. 28 Black has over 28 hours of energy. 28 Black is an energy drink for champions. You can get it right here at Goose's. It has no taurine in it, no crash, and it's vegan. Come here to Goose's or go to your local store right now. Coming soon to you, huh, Goose? 7-Elevens, baby. Right here, 28 Black. So, cigars here, man. We are all sponsored. Oh, Lucia. Oh, go ahead. Kev, you want to shout out Luciano's?
Sure, I'll shout out Luciano. Shout out to Luciano Pizza. I can't wait till the podcast is over so I can indulge.
Okay.
Yeah, so
They got a Stromboli over there for Gary.
oh,
No,
vegan
I
stromboli.
didn't see my salad over there.
Okay. Yeah, but shout out to Frank and the people down there at Luciano's. We really appreciate you.
Hey, shout out to Monte Cristos. Hey, guys, I just want to let you guys know they watch every single week. Every single week
No,
they
I gotta
watch it.
shout out.
Go ahead.
Hey, I'd like to shout out Goose's Cigar Lounge.
Thank
This is the best place that you could ever want to be at. And we appreciate Goose because he tolerates us.
And we're going to need you to stop with the Barry White deep voice when you do your shout outs.
That's
Yeah,
my
you know what I mean?
that's,
It's
that,
like-
that's my pseudo DJ voice. Come on, stop.
Tensed up. I don't know what is going on.
You got a shout out, Nora?
Listen, since we talking about Villanova, shout out to my guy Al Williams. I mean,
Oh,
remiss
Al
not to
Williams.
say
Shout out to Al. Okay.
I mean,
Oh,
big fan, my guy out there. My Cats football team are just right went really well. Good turnout. So I now have the 4, 5, 6, and 7-year-olds. So I'm gonna be needing.
We got to bring Coach out to a game, man. Championship
No,
game.
I want to see his playbook.
Right,
We go 5 wide, coach. You better throw that ball to the pool table.
Undefeated Ghost, man. I want to ask you guys a question and tell me if you guys feel the same way, man. I feel as though, Coach, if it's okay with you, we'll talk to your management. We'll get Goose in order to go with. But this is a show, man. Like you should really, the way that you talk and the way that you speak and you should be a radio show. I think that we can be just as competitive of Missinelli. I know that he's no longer on the air, but Coach knows, along with, you can bring 2 or 3 people because we know that you're going to want some people to talk about offense and defenses, but we can talk football and do podcasts and smoke cigars every single week, Coach. It's up to you. Just think about it.
I'm in.
Oh!
And Coach, just so you know, I recently had acquired a new radio station, so we could probably, I'm saying I know people. I got a great engineer. I got a great boss. I mean, so I got some people. I got a great DJ. Just talk to me. Let me know when you're free. We'll talk off there.
All right.
Well, you know what? Along that lines, and I hear you. One of the things that I have been able to do very quietly is just be nice to people and meet people. And I have been approached a bunch of times to do stuff like that, write a book a couple times, and I've been so involved with my foundation, trying to save lives, that I haven't done anything like that. But I'm certainly open to it. I don't know how much time I would have, but I know right now, if I call Jay Wright, he'll be here.
That's what we need.
That's
Yeah.
what I love.
Yeah.
So like what?
You know what I
once
mean?
a week? Because he has a busy schedule.
Not only once a week, but we would shoot 2 shows once a
Right.
week. We would change shirts and go and do it again. But I honestly think, and we can talk live and freely, that this is a show. I think that we can promote Coach. We can talk football. You guys can give your Steelers take of the day, Coach. And when it comes to college football, who do you like? Like who do you cheer for the most on Saturday mornings?
Well,
and the same thing for Sunday for NFL. Are you an Eagles fan?
Yeah, I am sort of a old-time Eagles fan.
Okay.
Because I was born and raised, here. And I would say college, the guys that I came up with would be Paterno and Bo Schembechler. And I modeled my program after those 2 guys. So I wanted the Penn State and Michigan program to be kind of the ground level of where we would build our program at Villanova. Kids graduate, stay out of trouble, do things right, treat the kids great, and so that was important to me. Today, I was with Saban, and I would say I don't know Nick Saban that well, but I was National Coach of the Year in twice, and he was there both times, sitting next to me. So I said to him, Coach, you don't know me, but my name's Andy Talley, and I coach at Villanova. He goes, I know where Villanova is. He goes, I know who you are. So I said, well, here's something that I think I would tell you that you should think about. Because I've watched him, on TV and stuff like that. I said, you're a wild man on the sideline. I said, you need to calm down. I said, you need to do a better job of handling yourself, not only on TV, but in practice. And I said, and the only reason I say that to you is because I had a heart attack, and I said, I'm a type A personality, which obviously you're a type AA personality. And when you're a type A, you're running around and you're this and you're that. And I said, so one night I'm just sitting home with my wife and I got this pain right here. And I go, we got to go to the hospital. She said, what? I said, I've never had this kind of pain. I said, it runs from here to here. And I said, I think it's a heart attack. So I get into the hospital, and this doctor who was on call, I'll never forget her. She was like Attila the Hun. She said, son, you're having a heart attack. I go, well, okay, that's what I thought, and in maybe a half hour, 40 minutes, they had me from a 10, paying a 10 down to about a 4, so I could at least breathe and talk a little bit. And then, I subsequently have had 6 stents put in, mainly because I was a type A personality, coaching football, high stress level. You got to win or you're going to get fired, that kind of thing. And I got to change. I said, I got to change. It's important. And that's what I told Saban. I said, you need to think about changing. And it was kind of a bold thing for me to say to the guy, but I mean, I didn't have anything else to really talk to him about. And, I'd seen him before. And he went and told somebody that, because I saw it in an article where he said, I was talking to this coach from Villanova, and he'd had a heart attack, and, told me I need to change a little bit, and I got to work on that. Now, I think he's probably a little better than he was, but, and a lot of coaches are that way. So for me, that the only way I learned is because it happened to me. I didn't die, but I could have died. I could have died. I mean, I've had, 6 stents since then, and I need 2 more. So, I mean, once you get heart disease, you got heart disease. Okay, so you can take the medication. I take a couple meds, but I'm also I've calmed down. I mean, and I did in my career toward the last maybe 12 to 14 years, and just settled down a little bit more and let the coaches coach a little bit. And now when stuff came across my desk, I wasn't flying across the desk at the kid or taking. One time I took everything on my desk and just flipped it right on the kid. Like, come on, man. You got to settle down. So it was a good learning point for me.
Well, all the greats act like that, right? All the great coaches have big personalities, intense, right?
Coach, we want to. You'll always be welcome at Goose's. I mean, you're sitting with a bunch of MVPs here, and guys that know how to run a podcast and a talk show, and they're respectful of people. But we have a lot of fun here. But thank you on a beautiful Sunday. It shows the class that you have, that you came here on a beautiful Sunday to be with us. I feel like, and to be honest with you, I feel like I'm sitting next to my high school basketball coach, Lloyd Wolf, who's the same demeanor, a type A personality. And but I played basketball. I was, in sociological terms, I was an ectomorph in high school, 6'4", about 160.
Right.
And to this day, I still have dreams about playing football. And in the dreams, I'm always a wide receiver in the stand. So wide, I'm in the stand. You couldn't picture me, Nard, going across the middle and get hit by someone. I would have been broken in 2. But I love the game. I'm a fan of the game. I love football, and your exemplary career at Villanova is one for the records, and I salute you for that.
Appreciate it.
Being a good Catholic boy myself for 16 years, but basketball, the thing that broke my back with, we were living in North Jersey, and I went out for the 7th grade football team, and I was so skinny I kept on hitting the dummy, and my pants was falling down. So I went up to the coach and I said, "Do you have a belt for me?" And he said, "No, I don't have a belt for you." But my pants kept falling down. But the second thing that broke my back was when they handed me a playbook. And the playbook was about that thick.
Right.
I said, "The hell with this. I'm going to stick with basketball. Give and go."
Uh-huh.
You give and go, back cuts. I mean, holy mackerel.
Yeah.
Football is it's intricate. I mean, you really have to execute as a team and have everybody in sync with each other in order to be successful.
And that's why you have to be a type A personality.
You do. But thank you again for coming. You'll always be welcome. We'll have to pick out an honorary locker for you so that we can we can have you here more than just this one time.
Coach, put your hands together for that. So, Coach, you got your own locker. So once you come on the Undefeated Goats, now that you're family, so we're gonna you gotta let us know what name you put on there. And I don't know about you guys, Goats, but Coach Andy Talley with the Undefeated Goats live show sounds like a good idea, huh? What you guys think? Put your hands together for that. All right.
It's funny how we recruit him, but he
You know
didn't
what? I was talking about role reversal.
You was thinking that? Nard, you was thinking that?
I didn't want to take that shot. We had such a good relationship. I was like, so we recruiting him. We'll get him 1 year.
And you didn't have to travel. You know what I mean? It's-
Could you
I
imagine
met
that?
him where he were at.
Yeah, exactly.
listen, and if he acts up, we turn it to him.
We gotta take everything off first.
Could y'all imagine? Could y'all imagine? You know, we being at Villanova Stadium, and he putting us in the game. You know what the whole crowd would be saying?
For him.
For me.
Yeah.
Oh, not for you.
No.
They ain't gonna boo me, Charles.
No,
You gonna take it to the house?
we call first team. That's when I come.
Oh, first tee.
Yeah, I'm out.
First tee. Let's go.
There's nothing to talk about.
All right,
Nothing to
okay.
wait around.
All right.
We
maybe
understand
so.
the playbook
Yeah,
and language.
yeah.
It's not a problem.
Anything in closing,
Oh,
Karen?
no, I wouldn't be on the field. I'll just be on the,
Larry,
shooting
what
from
would
the-
you be doing if
I'll
you
be
was
shooting.
on the field? Since you talk so much this whole podcast, you wouldn't shut the hell up.
Larry be blocking. That's what he be doing.
Oh, you was a blocker?
His big behind.
He's a
He gonna be
blocker.
blocking.
You go? Really? All right. Well, we'd like to thank everybody for coming out each and every Sunday. Y'all know how we do it right here at the Undefeated Ghost, man. We had a great time. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the legendary Hall of Fame coach, Coach Talley. Big shout out to 28 Black. Shout out to Justin. Shout out to all the goats. Goose, thank you so much for having us. Everybody put your V's up again for Coach Talley. We'll see you guys on the other side on the Undefeated Goats. We love y'all.
Peace.